Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be getting a car into the void. If you came here just to see a car get shot into the void, then skip to the back. Normally I would put this at the front, but there's a lot of good build-up that I want to talk about, and technically there isn't actually any, other than the fact that I have to explain to you how disappointed you're going to be. Also, a lot of the stuff that I'm going to say is probably just theories and speculations, so take it with a grain of salt. I'll start off with some Void history. So, a long time ago, back when Void research first started, a bunch of people were trying to get small objects into the Void, and something a little bit outside of the edge of possibility was to get in a full car. I tried to get one in using the same wall trick that was pretty popular back then. However, the car being pushed against the border produced so much force that the walls pressed up against a tree would just cleanly slide out of their position. And after a while, void testing kind of just died out, which means now I gotta choose what I want to keep a secret and what I just want to tell the public. Although for some reason I am getting a bit of nostalgia and I miss being with the group. One day near the start of Season 5, McFry posted a clip of them teleporting and I watched it and I was like, what? Sadly I was too busy writing a bunch of tests so I pushed it to the back of my head, but then break hit. And you know what that means? I gotta debug my scene creator for 3 days in a row. Just kidding. Okay, not really, but it also means I gotta play Battle Dudes and test these glitches. I don't think I talked about this before, but I would put stickies onto dead cars, and once they respawn, the stickies would kind of just follow them and they'd explode in the enemy's face, hopefully. Except now we have C4s, which are just stickies but better. And at first I had no idea what this would have anything to do with the void, but anyways, I decided to play around with the cars for a little while, and seems like they teleport back to where they died if they have a C4 stuck to them. This is probably still my favorite clip, so my ult was just sitting in a car, and they don't even know what hit them. Ah, what a lovely day. Anyways, that's how to one-shot a player, but back to the point. So I was wondering if you stood right next to the car, maybe you could get hit by a lot of force. However, at this point, I still had no idea why the car dies again after getting back to the place it originally died, and sometimes it doesn't. But then you can think about it, and the car that you need to buff needs to be in the path the dead car needs to travel. Wouldn't you think that something that's going to punch through you will generate more force than something that's going to punch you on the side? And this is demonstrated by the experiment where the car kind of gets hit into the void while spinning. I have no idea how, if it actually went into the void or something. And this was also done by accident while I was trying to get myself into the void, so a little while later, I tried to do this on ice where the physics were nicer, and much more annoying in my opinion, and the car disappeared. This gets more weird later when a car knocks itself into another car into the void. Later I found out that the council has been using these glitches for a lot longer than I have, so I decided to talk to them about it, and it was pretty fun. They got me into the void and showed me a cool C4 trick. Although we sadly never got another car into the void during this time, but we did get me into the void. Although something weird happened, which was, along with my alt that despawned, they also despawned when I was in the void for a bit, and they said I went flying, except I was kinda just stuck on the edge. Okay, it's the next day and I have a new idea on how to get into the void, or get a car into the void, and I came up with another hypothesis which deals with a few of the issues, but not all of them. And you know how cars can take damage while rubbing against walls? It would make a lot more sense if the reason the car explodes when it respawns is because it needs to beat its way through all those objects, and it loses all of its health and explodes as a result. And then once those objects are all destroyed, that might be why the car doesn't die the second, third, or fourth time around. And I believe the physics engine in the game has to calculate all the collisions, so that might be why the car just bumps into a wall and gets thrown off course. Because once the car tries to get to where it died, it also tries to align itself in the same position it was in when it died. So I decided to review this clip to see if I can reproduce it and get another car into the void possibly. Although, unfortunately, the alignment of all the things is going to be hard because the car is kind of flying in from the other side of the map, and there are a lot of variables because of that. But anyways, let's test this theory and maybe we can teleport some players and cars for once. So I started testing, but apparently someone voted gun game and left, so now I have to AFK through a whole 10-minute game. And then I forgot to vote at the end of the game, and the servers blessed me with Westlands, which has no vehicles. So 2 boring games later, I went ahead and sent a car with me into the void, but the car never really seemed to get past the border. Later, I got a tank into the void with my ult, and sometime after that, I decided to test out the council's tricks, and I managed to reproduce the same result of sending someone flying into the void. And nothing much happened between these days. However, one day, Cass wanted me to film a quick video with him, and we did. But I decided to test the void after that, and I managed to get a car with a player into the void, and the car was completely gone. And the same thing about the 2 players despawning, which was Cass and I think was me, happened again. This is the part where I need to explain how the void works. And also probably where you're going to get disappointed. So I was super confused about how the players would disappear when I entered the void for a while, and why the observing player sees me going super far as to gone. So I asked Sarunas how the void works, and apparently the coordinates sent get capped at the world bounds. So that means if you're the player getting shot out, you'll just see yourself as stuck to the world boundary. However, your real coordinates could actually be deep into the void, and this explains why the cars just get stuck on the world boundary, even though they could be like really deep into the void. Once Bat joined and then my ult dropped the present in the void, unfortunately none of us could pick up the present, and this present could just be like the car positioning thing where it gets capped at the world boundary. Either that or you just can't interact with stuff in the void, but I think this theory answers why explosives do no damage when shot into the world border and it explodes, since it probably gets capped at the border even though it is technically deep in the void. So how can I prove this? Well, I decided to prove it by getting back into the void using the council's method, and I decided to drop a wall once I cut in. Then I came back and I decided to shoot at that wall diagonally. Now, if this wall was actually deep in the void, these bullets would not hit the wall if I shot it this way, because I'll just show you a little diagram. Although, if you shoot it directly, like centered, the bullets will actually hit the wall because the wall's actual positioning is kind of far away. And no matter how many mags I empty, I won't be able to destroy the wall shooting diagonally, but if I shoot it straight on, it does break after 2 mags, which also means the wall might be kind of far away, because that's a lot of bullets. I managed to succeed quite a few more times, but the recordings aren't exactly the best. They're fun to look at, but that was when I realized this is about as good as they'll become. So I got another computer to record what the other person sees, and this is what the observing person sees. And this is what the person getting into the void sees. I'll play a few more clips and then we'll wrap up. Also, I managed to teleport halfway across the map, and that's about as far as I'll get into the teleporting of the glitch. And that pretty much concludes this void video. I wonder if this will be the last void video, but that's what I was thinking on the first one. Special thanks to the council for the ideas and the amazing void method on islands, and also thanks to McFry for that video clip that brought everything to my attention. Actually, I feel like this is kind of biased, but oh well. Anyways, I'll leave this episode off right here. See you all next time. Oh yeah, I'm a bit late, but Happy New Year's.